Welcome back to Bissell Maple Farms YouTube channel. I am Nate. Here in my sawmill shed. I'm getting ready to mill a log. I had a little extra time. Got done with work. Sometimes you use your brain so much you just want to physically do something, and this is something I enjoy doing. And we milled yesterday. My son and I got back into the swing of things, and now I'm just thinking about milling some hardwoods. But I could tell you right now, I was wondering if I should come out. I smell a skunk. Like, it's bad. Like, I'm wondering, I've been moving some of these logs. I'm wondering if I, maybe move the skunks home a little bit. But I certainly smell a skunk. There's no doubt. Hopefully they mind their own business today and we mill a log and get done. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to mill a white oak. I just want to mill a white oak and start getting some of that lumber air drying so we can get it to the kiln. I love white oak. I have planned on using some in my home to make some trim. I've got plenty here to mill, and I plan on getting to some of the hardwoods here. I want to get a couple hardwood trees, logs milled up. I'm down to my last blade. So Austin typically sharpens the blades. I don't know how the sharpener works. It's all set up and ready to go. I'm sure it wouldn't take me long to figure it out, but being able to use that Woodland Mills sharpener, that has really saved some time. And I will tell you, a brand new blade from, can't remember who Woodland uses, Lennox. Once Austin sets the teeth and sharpens the blade, it's better than new. I don't know if when they set the teeth on, the set changes over time or it bends back, but once Austin sets it, it mills so much better after the first sharpening than it did brand new. I will say that. We get a little bit longer life in the blades, so I've got one I can use. I'll have to check and see if maybe there's another one, but I'm trying to get one white oak log milled today, and it'll be fun. Yeah, what else can I tell you? Probably a little cleanup. Got all that lumber we milled yesterday that I just put up on Facebook because I got so much to mill up. I just want to get it milled before it goes bad. So that's kind of the goal. Just start knocking logs down, filling up the log deck here. So kind of, if it's your first time at the mill shed where, we kind of, I enjoy this. This is kind of my hobby. If you're here for maple and you don't want to see how, some professional amateur mills lumber, I get it. You don't have to stay. If you kind of enjoy seeing a log turn into lumber, then you're like me. I enjoy watching channels like this. I love watching George's channel at Middlefield Custom Sawmill. Love Nathan Elliott's channel. Out of the woods. He pretty much has gotten a lot of us into milling. And then one of my favorites is Sawing with Sandy. Like, he really made it seem attainable for a ding-dong like me to be able to, not calling you a ding-dong, Sandy. I'm saying you made it simple enough that I could understand it. So we definitely bought this sawmill because of how much research I did with watching Sandy's channel. I felt really comfortable. On top of that, George had a challenge, and we were able to mill this piece of 3/8 inch to show that we could also cut some. He had a challenge to some sawmill channels to go ahead and see how well they could mill and keep the dimension. But if we did it right, it was probably by accident. So let me give you a quick tour of our sawmill shed. Sawmill shed was initially a spruce tree that was sitting right there. Stump's still there. We cut it down, put some 12 by 12 inch beams. I had these I-beams at a building I own. It was a mezzanine at a factory, so we basically assembled it, milled everything. This was the first thing we ever milled. This is well beyond probably a first project we should have done, but we learned all of our lessons on this one. Those are 23 or 24 foot logs, or I'm sorry, timbers that we milled on a 16-foot sawmill. So I'll put a link up above. to see how you actually can take a log that's longer than your sawmill and make a timber out of it. Put some bubble wrap under it, and then there's galvalume on top. There's a whole series that I can put a link up above on how we made our sawmill shed. But also above us here we have a crane. We were able to put these trolleys on top because sometimes you get some big logs that you need help turning, and having a chain fall like this just saves a lot of energy. Trying to turn logs with a cant hook over and over will just wear you down. Other things that we've done, we got a trailer which puts the mill up a little bit higher. It's kind of nice, but I don't really trailer it around too much. Other upgrades, put a piece of C-channel here so we can use a bottle jack, because sometimes a log is smaller at one end than it is at the other. So we want to center the pith. The pith is the center of the log, usually the center. Sometimes they're off center a little bit, but every time if you think about the rings of a log, as the rings move towards the center like a bullseye, the bullseye is the pith, P-I-T-H, pith. One of the best things we did was put a, automatic, it moves the mill head up and down instead of cranking. That saves a lot of time and energy. That just, you mill a little more logically, because we're human, we get lazy and we don't want to crank the thing up and down. But boy, this really is a nice feature. Would have done it at the beginning if I had thought about it. That's kind of a little bit hearing protection, eye protection. We're still novices, but this is something we like doing. The mill shed's kind of a mess. I got to get some of this stuff put in the burn pile, and then I'm going to try to keep the hardwood separate, because we're having people ask us whether we sell the hardwood slabs, and never thought of that. It's got to be worth it. Honestly, it's probably not worth it for us to do it. We burn these slabs in the burn pile over here. This is all softwood, but hardwood slabs might be a little bit more valuable to people because they can burn them in an outdoor stove or something, or people that make maple syrup might be able to use it in the hobby level. So I've got 6 white oak logs, 3 monsters, some smaller ones in there, and that would make quite a bit of lumber for trim, flooring, whatever. So I'm going to try to get one on here, see how it goes. Not trying to kill myself, but I need to get moving instead of procrastinating. So I'm making this video for Woodland Mills. I absolutely love our HM130MAX, and I absolutely ended up buying this because of sawing with Sandy, and it's the best value on a mill. I guess after doing this for a while, I had a few things that I could use some help with. Let me show you the first thing. Absolutely love these stainless covers. However, it seems to me that the weld on these, so you can slide a cant, just isn't quite strong enough here. So this one, these have all held. However, these ones just have not. You can tell they're just getting bent. The other thing is, I think this is partially the operator's fault too, but these start getting bent from having the log stop so high that when you roll a log on it, it just will push that in. So I've kind of learned you don't want this sticking way high in the air, because that just puts so much leverage on it that you'll bend this guy. So we have a few spots that we've had to hammer back, but yeah, this guy right here was bent. So I have a few bunks that I probably need to have replaced, but that's like I said, it's partially our fault for being a little aggressive on it, I'm thinking. Yeah, overall I need one of these guys. That fell out, this little modulation for the water tank. Need to get some of these blade spacers that wear. Boy, that's still got a pretty good gap, doesn't it? I smell skunk.
Yeah?
Yeah? Why does it smell like a skunk over here?
They're probably in your log pile.
Well, they're not happy with me. What are you doing?
I don't know. What am I doing?
I'm going to put a white oak log or two on here.
Am I spotting you?
Yeah. Making sure I don't cut into a log stop like Jonathan did yesterday.
Huh.
You know how you learn how to not cut into a log stop?
Cut into one.
Cut into one, yeah, and then change the blade. It sucks. No problem. So at this point, Dad and I are not trying to mill this like a cant right now. We're just trying to cut these knobs off so we can actually fit it on the mill. So yeah, it's a big white oak. I got the mill up as high as it'll go, and I think she'll get it. I'd have trouble down there, but once I get it in position, I could probably get it. So I need that to clear that knot down there. There we go. How about that? Just cleared my phone. How about that? Another upgrade we did was put an RPM meter on here. It was really two upgrades. We just have this little RPM meter right there. Wires wrap around the spark plug. It tells you the RPMs of your engine. Well, we like to run at 4,000 RPMs. I know what you're thinking. These engines are rated at 3,600 RPMs, and you would be correct. So I'm probably at some point going to have to replace this engine. It's a pretty standard 14 horse Kohler, and we just are able to cut so much cleaner. Yeah, the RPMs are running faster, but she cuts better. And I know that's not what you're supposed to do, but we're doing it. And, you know, I know some people run 1.5-inch blades on these things. I run 1.25 inches, but I know some guys run 1.5 inches. You're not supposed to, but guys swear by it. They say that there's not as much wave in the cut. But I'm just being honest about some of the upgrades we've made. So we did juice the engine, put an RPM meter on it, and the biggest reason is I can tell when my blades are getting dull. I start dropping to like 39, 38, but when you're running at 4,000, you can run pretty quick across the log, and then what you notice is if you keep it at 4,000 or 3,900, if you notice you're crawling slower along the log than you were at the beginning, it's time to put a new blade on. I love white oak. What'd you say white oak's second to black walnut, Miguel?
Price.
It's what?
Price.
Yeah. Why were you clarifying? You don't like it as much as black walnut?
Oh. I like, I've seen some good pieces.
Alright, we're going to rotate this log 90 degrees. Put a level on this and make sure it's straight up and down. But, I'm going to hand this to you. Hammer, I'll give it a little tap. Love tap. Here we go. A little Molnir here. I'm doing the wrong thing again, because that's going to rotate it this way. So, other way. getting dark. That is the, that's a dusty job there. What we left was basically the pith and a 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 inch white oak post for potentially timber framing something in the future. I'm saving the pith on pretty much every log. I just got to find a place to put this. Well, there's what we made today. That's a lot of lumber. So there's a bunch of 8 1/4, 1 inch on top. How many pieces of 8 1/4 did we make? A couple of them need edged. So this will need edged. This will be needed edged. And then we've got one over here that's going to need edged. And I think that's 8 1/4. So everything's 8 1/4 here, except this 1 inch piece, and then this 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 inch beam. So you can see it had cracks. It wasn't worth milling it. You think this would hold some weight vertically, Dad?
Yep, I do.
You can see it's definitely dusty. I'm done. You done?
I'm done.
I'm done. So thanks for helping, Dad.
Yeah.
Shut these lights off. Boy, we ran late enough that those lights are actually needed. Here's the switch. Gotta be 65 degrees, maybe 60 degrees. Perfect weather for this. But, yeah. That's milling 2 days in a row. So, we're almost another 28 days and we'll have a habit. Pretty. Love me some white oak. I gotta tell you, white oak smells amazing. It's my favorite lumber. White oak is my favorite lumber to mill because it smells amazing. It really does. So glad you were along for this. I gotta head home. I gotta dust myself off. I got an hour drive home. So hey. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you in the next episode. What's that?
It's cold out.
This is great milling weather. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Great milling weather.